This week's Torah portion is not just a Torah portion, it's the beginning of an era. An era that's going to define the next 40 days, period of time that is the preview of what's to come in the next period of the calendar for us. What's happening now in the history of our people is that the Jews now are at the banks of Canaan, of Israel. And God turns to them and says, we're ready. We're poised. The land is yours. The Jews say, well, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait for you to win. And God says, well, not me winning. It's you winning. You're going to have to fight. The Jews go in as spies. They come out as spies. They gather the nation together and say, we're going to die. The nation cries. They all say, we want to go back. We don't want to go in. And it is that night that is the holiday or the day called Tisha B'Av. And it's on that night that every year afterwards we experience destruction. And the question that the rabbis, I've heard this before, ask is, why is this night so auspicious? They were scared. What did they do wrong? They walked in, they saw a scary situation, and they came back and they were reported. Why are they punished so much for it? So if you look very closely into their words, you see that God's not punishing them. God is informing them. They were punished, but it's not a punishment. It's a consequence of the way they acted. The Jews come out. They gather everybody together and they say, we're going to die. Like, it's over. There's giants, there's fortified cities, forget it. And then they slip. And they give a little bit of information. And they say the following, they say, and we were, in Hebrew it's, V'yu be'einenu kechagavim. We were in our eyes like grasshoppers. V'chein hayu be'eineihem. And so we must have been in theirs. They were trying to say that compared to the giants, we look like grasshoppers. What they said was, we were in our eyes like grasshoppers, so we must have been in theirs, right? They weren't hanging out with giants going like, hey, what do you think of us? They weren't sitting around and listening to the giants going, who are these grasshoppers? They just said, we probably look like grasshoppers because they were giants. And that one sentence is the underlining underpinnings to all the destruction that took place then and every year since. Every one of us in life faces challenges. Every one of us in life comes to the banks of our Israel, our Canaan, looks up and sees giants. Every one of us looks out in the world and says, there's something that I need or should or could do, and I don't want to. I don't think I can. What separates those that go in and fight and those that don't? What separates those that push for the idea, that push for the relationship? What separates the people? Is it strength? No. Is it natural ability? No. Is it DNA? No. There's no one determinant factor that says, if you have this, then you win. If you have this, then you lose, except for one thing. The people that look at challenges and says, well, I'm a grasshopper, so I'm going to lose. Always lose. And the people that say, well, I don't know how strong I am. I don't know what I can do. The reason why I have challenge is to see how far I can push myself. Those people fail sometimes, but they win sometimes. You see, one of the greatest misconceptions in life is thinking that we know if we can or we can't. We don't know what we can do until it's over. When the Jews stand at the banks of Israel and go, we can't, before they even tried, God says, you keep that up, your whole life will be destruction. The essence of greatness is staring at the wall, staring at the giants and saying, if God believes I can, I'm going to at least try, because I won't know if I can or I can't until it's over. That's not a story. That's our life. If God brings us a challenge, he knows we can do it. If God brings us to it, he'll bring us through it. We just got to be willing to take the first step, to fight, to try, to see, maybe I can.